Psalms 14 and verse 1 says, "To the chief musician, a psalm of David, the fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt, they have done abominable works, there is none that doeth good." Giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakah, Quadash. Double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salutes to all the 144,000 elect men. Folly and wickedness of men. So yeah, the chief musician, Psalm of David. This is David. David going in doing one of his songs. One of his little songs. Well, I don't want to say little songs. These songs are big, man. These songs are affirmations, and they put out energies and vibrations through the power and the spirit of the Lord. And also, that energy and that vibration run through you, your blood. People look down on some of these psalms. They don't teach you the true meaning of psalms. The psalms in the church. So it's good to reflect and meditate on a lot of all these different type of psalms, man. I said in one of my previous videos, we're coming into this truth. You really are like a kid. No, not a kid. A child, a young child. A child of Yahshua Allah, Son of God, not a kid, because a kid is a baby goat. A Yahshua Allah, Prince of the Power, you're like a child of God in a candy store. Really, you really spoke for choice on all different levels. But let me just get in on this because the Spirit had me wanting to go in on you got the folly of our own people, but then you got the folly in the world. The folly is in the world. We got to be around these people. So brothers are going in, how we need to be, brothers and elders, how we need to be circumspect. We need to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves, because there's folly all over within our own people and within our own family, and we really are the ones that are the illuminators of this world, setting the example. We're the light that is a light to the nations. So we can't get bogged down in this place, this world, and let them affect us with that folly. So as usual, there's words there I want to look at. I want to look at the word, the fool. The fool. What is a fool? Let's go straight in. Fool. A person who acts unwisely or imprudently. A silly person. An idiot. Awful blow. Awful. No. Half-wit. Half-wit. Blockhead. Buffoon. You know, it's not mincing words here. Even Google's not mincing words with this. Because none of us really like to deal with all that. You know, deal with fools. If we know of any fools in our workplace, we really we keep our distance from that type of person. But when we really understand the meaning of the word according to the Bible, we may have if you don't believe in God, if you don't believe in God, you're just described as a fool. Silly, stupid, or in context, people that don't believe in God or have no fear of God, spend as little time with them as possible. That's all I can say. Anyway, it's gonna give us the answer here. There is a method to the madness why I'm doing this video, because there's a holy folly taking place in Israel. The call for round 2, and I've been around. Oh man. Anyway, let's read. Silly, stupid, or ignorant person. From the old French, madman. You's a madman, boy. The French they're saying it right. The French people they got it. Same way Benjamin would say it. They're a madman, insane person. Nah. When I look at that, I really have to check something here. Insane person, idiot, rogue, jester. You got highly educated people, man. Now, when you really meditate upon this, professional people that are what? If you don't believe in God, you're a madman. You're an insane person. That's why you got all these uprisings in the world. There's people you need God in your life. That's what the Yankees them say. You need Jesus, even though they're saying it in jest. It's true. They need your whole Yahushua. And that's what happens when you don't have a foundation, a belief in a higher power. That's how they say it. If you don't have a foundation, a belief in a higher power, the foolish man, what did he do? He built his house upon the sand. And the wise man built his house upon the rock. You have a foundation when you believe in God. And I ain't even really gone in yet. Let me just read it off. Rogue, jester, also blacksmith. Belows also an adjective meaning mad again. Mad, insane. So you're wondering why there's wars all over the world. We're focusing on Israel at the moment and the protesting, the rioting. It's rioting. The what's the word I went into yesterday? The rioting. The melee, right? The melee. Oh, the other word's gonna come back to me, Abu Razar, when I was going through the video yesterday. There's a right way and a wrong way to deal with this truth. There's a right way and a wrong way to live your life. So you got all these foolishness taking place because people don't have a foundation in their life, a direction, no structure. Right? From the Latin follis. I don't need no more. That's all I need, man. Wig beg, empty-headed person. Insane. He says it so much times there. Windy, inflated with wind. But some sources suggest evolution from Latin follies. He's breaking it down. Evolution from Latin follies. Puff cheeks of a buffoon, secondary sense. Yeah, people who talk about evolution or the Big Bang Theory, and a lot of them are highly educated as far as in the worldly sense, as far as what they call that, numeracy, and as far as being educated with the alphabet degrees. Some of them may even have master degrees. You know, they highly educated, learned people, judges, doctors, nurses, lawyers. And if you really got into a conversation with them, you're going to find out that they're the word insane. They don't believe in God. Idiots, madmen. Need I say more? That was I didn't say, all I said was what the etymology said. And I am getting on them. I am getting on them because they're insane people, crazy ass people. Insane. In a state of mind which prevents normal perception behavior. See, your local doctor, a lot of them, they believe in other gods, that's another video, but they don't believe in the true God. The ones that don't believe in no higher power are not normal, man. No normal perception behavior or social interaction. Seriously mentally ill. I never said that. I never wrote Google. Mentally ill, severely mentally disordered, of unsound mind. And that's a saying. If a man that keeps on doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results, that's the definition of insanity. Actually, let me ask a question here. What is the definition of insanity? Did you hear that? If you can hear that, I don't want to turn it up to you. The definition of insanity is the state of being seriously mentally ill, madness. And we just looked at it in the etymology. A person, right? A mad, insane person, an idiot. You said it here. Compare insanity, literally windy, inflated with wind. These are your local, your shopkeepers, your doctors, your lawyers, your teachers in school. What taught you? A lot of them don't believe in God, right? We looked at the scripture, Psalms 14. What a fool is a person who don't believe in God. You just can't make this up. Enough said, man. Enough said. I don't need to say no more. Someone who believes in evolution, the source of evolution from the Latin, falls, puff, evolution. People that I talk about evolution, I just get away from them. I don't even bother anymore. I done all that when I was in Jehovah's Witness, going from door to door. I did all that, going on the ministry, talking to crazy ass people who don't believe in God. Them crazy. I never said it. Google said it. Person who acts unwisely or imprudently is a silly person. Back to Blue Letter. To sum it all up, this don't have to be a long video, because really, yeah, it's speaking for itself. Psalms 14:1 again. A psalm of David. The fool have said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. So I keep hearing this. I keep on hearing about such a person. The elders and apostles, particularly Elder Apostle Gabar, mentioned this King Canute, and I just tapped it in because it came back to me. King Canute, famous quote. He's known for some of his quotes. He's known for some of his actions. Let's read. King Canute quote. Then the king leapt backward, saying, "Let all men know how empty and worthless is the power of kings, for there is none worthy of the name but he whom heaven, earth, and sea obey by eternal laws." He then hung his gold crown on a crucifix and never wore it again, to the honor of God the Almighty. Alright, so what I did, what is King Canute famous for? What is King Canute famous for? Right, I just put the quote in, just curiosity, and really it helps the video. It furthers the understanding of why if you don't believe in God, how foolish you are. Here's a man. Let's look at him. Let's go in and look at this guy. Today, Canute is remembered primarily for the fable about the king and the sea. Some people say curiosity killed the cat. Well, no, it didn't. You know what I mean? It's helped me to learn a lot of interesting information here, and we're tying it in with the scriptures, making it make sense, because it really does make sense. This asserts that King Canute sat on the seashore and tried to command the tide. Right, you know, kings can be arrogant and full of themselves. Here is a king, a typical king, putting a little project together, or a little experiment together. It says, this asserts the King Canute sat on the seashore and tried to command the tide not to touch his feet. Yet the seashore, if you can see, let me zoom in. This, I'm finding this is interesting information. Picking sense out of nonsense. Yet the seashore ignored him. He can't command it. He realized he's limited in his power. The seashore ignored him. This story first appears in chronicles written more than a century after Canute died. Right, there's more information. There's more. Let's King Canute and the tide. A little bit more. It says, today Canute is remembered primarily for the fable about the king and the seashore. Asserts the King Canute sat on the... Yeah, I just looked at that. There's another bit. Another one of his quotes. It says, in Huntington account, Canute sets his throne by the seashore and commanded the tide to halt and not to wet his feet and robes. Yet continuing to rise as usual, the tide dashed over his feet and legs without respect for his royal person. It's a little bit different, similar, but it's a little bit different. He then hung his gold crown on the crucifix and never wore it again, to the honor of God the Almighty. Let all men know how empty and worthless is the power of kings. Right? It kind of it's like it carries on for what I just read. Let all men know how empty and worthless is the power of kings, because you've got a lot of people that give more honor and respect to kings, right? We've got the royal family over here. We've got royals over in different tribes, chiefs, tribes in different tribes. We've got chieftains, we've got tribes, we've got native tribes, what they call them, chiefs of the villages, and they don't believe in God, but they worship kings, chieftains, which is really a worship of men. And there's an acknowledgement here Canute is making. Let all men know how empty and worthless is the power of kings, for there is none worthy of the name but he whom heaven, earth, and sea obey by eternal laws. There's no one that don't obey, not one creature, not one season, that's the point. Not one season, not one mountain, not one you can't, he goes on and on and on, that don't obey the law. And I don't need to, it's not an exaggeration, it's not an exaggeration. He's saying it. He tried it himself. I'm not embellishing it. He experienced it. He tried it. Being that every man must bow down to him and worship him, he sat on the seashore and he said, yet continuing to rise as usual, the tide continued to rise as usual. The tide dashed over his feet and legs without respect of his royal person. He didn't give him no respect, and he had to acknowledge there's a higher power. Yeah. So he said he remembered the primarily of the fable about the king and the sea. This asserts that King Canute sat on the seashore. I've read that already. I just find it so interesting. There's one more point here. According to the legend, King Canute put his throne on the beach and commanded the tide to halt and not wet his feet and robes, but the tide failed to stop. Right? Canute leaped backwards and said, let all men know how empty and worthless is the power of the kings. So repetition is a father of learning. I've read it so many times, and also certain things, when you read more than once, you remember it yourself. So I say no more. There was an example there, and we looked at the definition. Yeah, another definition for fool is insanity. Just check this out. Couple of words, and the point is already made. So, the fool has said in his heart, this is the Psalm of David, the fool. H5036.
1036. Naval.
Foolish, senseless fool. So we spend as little time with fools as possible. We have to deal with them. We have to go to the shop. You have to deal with, the corporate world. For those of us that are really heavy into that, which we have to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves in this world. There's a lot of the spirits are definitely active. Going through the city, which going through London City now today, there's a heightened sensitivity a heightened sensitivity about this Palestinian and Israeli thing taking place over in the East. Heightened sensitive people, heightenedly sensitive. So you got to walk circumspectly, right? And a lot of them have this cloak on them, a folly. It's a folly cloak of folly. Would you really get into conversations about? Not really. People talking about they want to go back for round 2. They're fools. That's a fool speaking. A folly demon has jumped on that person, or he may be just a folly. You may be just totally gone completely. He's definitely going off, or a demon jumped on him just to get other people caught up in this foolish world. I broke it all down in my last video. How we gonna walk? We have to walk circumspectly. And Yahushua said himself in the red letters, if this were my kingdom, my people would fight. And we went into the all the certain people, the certain type of people that got into that. Those people like you have the Sakari, you have the Zealots, and that's all they lived for. When they're going to deal with people, when's the next time we're going to deal with these people? Zealots, which were violent people, aggressive, violent people that instigated trouble, and they rose up against the government. And you've got the Sakari also, which breaks down to dagger, and they used to deal with people too. With the name speaks for itself. So these people there, sometimes you have to rub shoulders with them. You have to deal with them with wisdom. Be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves, man. Yeah, that's in Matthew. Matthew goes into that. Yahushua spoke, told his disciples that's how you deal with these people, because a lot of them are caught up, with this world. So if you want to get through this world, that's the point, and that's another video. Be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. Applying wisdom. Which one of the elders are going into that? Applying wisdom. Yeah, wisdom is to be under the cloak of wisdom is actually a form of combat. It's the art of war. It breaks down. Wisdom breaks down into being skilled in war. And there's so many examples. I always mention them. Men that were skilled in war had a whole lot of wisdom flowing through their veins. So we have to apply wisdom in this time. More so coming to the end. The opposite of wisdom would be what? Foolishness, folly, stupid, insanity, insane, and all them other words, all the above. Foolish, senseless, a man who has no perception, no discernment of ethical or religious claims. With a lot of these people talking about they want to strap themselves up with bum and do it because they want to go to heaven and get 14. I'll get too much into it, but them are foolishness according to the scriptures. Yeah, we broke it down. We're breaking it down now. Let's go. We're gonna end it, man. Point. Enough said on that. Enough said. Foolish. The foolish man has said in his heart, there is no God. In his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable. They are corrupt. H7 8:43. Yeah. To be married, be spoiled, be corrupt, be injured. Yeah, they're corrupt. Again, these are the people that they were surrounded by them, man. You're surrounded by them. That's why, again, we have to walk circumspectly. You have to be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. Abarazar, this lesson is edifying. Corrupt. Shacher. We're surrounded by corrupt people, foolish people. The last word, abominable, H8581. To be, to abhor, be abominable, do abominably. Man, you gotta watch your back, man. When you're walking, you gotta be I'm gonna have to keep saying it. Be circumspect in the ritual sense, ethical sense. Loathe, abhor, regard as an abomination. In the enough said. Right. Low morals. You just know that's what that's getting at. Commit more, do abominably, morally detest, to be abhor, and they're morally detestable. Low morals. These people are low morally. Enough said on that. There's other precepts we could get into. Really, you got another one here. When you just tap in fool. When you just tap in the word fool, you get other, naturally in the blue letter, you're gonna get other precepts come up. This is Psalms 51 and 53 and 1 again. The chief musician upon Mahalaf, Mishil, a psalm of David. The fool have said in his heart, there is no God. Corrupt are they, and have done abominable, low morals. Iniquity, abominable, have done abominable. Iniquity, there is none that doeth good. There's a word here I want to look at that one. And then we end off the video. Iniquity, H5766. Iniquity. So mind your backs, man. Mind your backs. When you walking with a rucksack, check it, keep it shut. They'll pickpocket you. I'm talking literally. But if they can do it spiritually, they would. They'll rob you of your crown. You understand? Right? There's a whole heap of folly also going on in Israel. I keep on saying it. Yeah. So injustice, unrighteous, wrong. Yeah, that's iniquity. Violent. Yeah, people who try and supplant you. Anyway, the Most High got them. The Most High gets them. He got them, and they ain't going nowhere. Alright? Any supplanters. Scripture said in Jeremiah, a brother will try and supplant his brother. But yeah, that's injustice. That's iniquity. Violent deeds of injustice. Injustice of speech. Injustice generally. Perverseness, unjust, unrighteously, wickedness, iniquity. They're full of iniquity. A man that don't believe in God, or a man who may even believe in God but don't have no fear of God, it's the same thing. A man who believes in God but don't fear God still is full of iniquity and wickedness. Right? And they're going to have to be ultimately destroyed if they don't repent too. So whether you believe in God or whether you don't believe in God, it's all foolishness and folly and corrupt. And as we looked at the etymology, it's insanity. And that's insane. That's why we're seeing madness taking place in-house and outhouse. Right? In-house and outhouse. Madness and folly and violence taking place throughout the whole world. That's all I need to do. I've made that point. The point of how it's foolish to not believe in God. Right? And it's also insanity. We looked at the word insanity. The state of being seriously mentally ill. Madness. He's mad. Let me see better. Zoom out. Those people that don't believe in God, they're crazy. Right? Spent as little time. Can you see? Can you see properly? Yeah. In and out, quick, get away from them. They're insane. I ain't even exaggerating. I ain't embellishing. Right? It's not an overstatement. I'm reading it. Right? We looked at it in the etymology, a state of being seriously mentally ill, madness. We looked at the word fool and it led us to insanity, mental illness, mental disorder, mental disarrangement, madness, extreme foolishness or irrationality. They're likely to do anything. I'm saying when you pass through this town in the city with the melees, there's melees taking place. You heard about the one in was it Washington? I don't know where it was, with the brothers where they was meeting up saying let's go back. I don't know where it was, Washington, wherever it was, I don't know. But there was others too with colleges, other melees that broke out, right? There was melees because why? When we looked at, go back to the word again, just to make sure you do. I ain't exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating at all in the slightest. These people are, look, a foolish person, silly, stupid, or arrogant person from the old French, folle, madness, insane person, idiot. See? I don't need to exaggerate, man. He's making the point for me. These crazy ass people getting caught up in those melees, because why? We ain't going back for no round 2. We ain't even going for round 1. We ain't no part of this crap. We want to be delivered. We want to get in chariots, Abaratazar, for salvation. That's the end game. Abaratazar, all the elect will be in the chariots, looking down, and when the missiles hit, looking at the fire and people screaming and burning up, and we be looking down, giving praises and glory and cheering the name of the Most High. And everybody will know that He, the Most High, is Yahweh. Psalms 83. We went into it yesterday. All will know that Yahweh, Bashim Yoshai, is the true God over the whole earth. So, the fool has said in his heart, yeah, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. So, enough said on that. Shalom to all the sincere Akim, giving double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salute to all the 144,000 elect men. And the Afwakim, that's the women in the Hebrew, and the Wafbanim, that's the young children that are in order in the Hebrew. We on to the next.